Stephen was a very big personality. He loved to laugh. He was a very generous person, very creative as well. He was a musician and in bands for over 20 years. We met in Brisbane back when we were both at uni. I was 19, he was in his early 20s, so we've been together for coming up to 20 years. It was a very kind of normal day for us. We were out doing a family activity and, you know, getting the kids in the car, and all of a sudden he collapsed. And it turned out that he had suffered a catastrophic brain hemorrhage.
It's rare that someone dies in a medical situation where organ donation is possible. Typically, this is in an intensive care unit where someone is on a life support machine and there's a decision to withdraw the life support, or someone has a catastrophic injury to their brain and they deteriorate to brain death.
He had actually registered to be an organ donor when he was 18, when he was getting his licence. I thought that I would have understood what his wishes were, but there's always that kind of element of, is this really what he would have wanted, you know, in the back of your mind? And I guess we were lucky that us as a family were all on the same page about that as well, but I can imagine there would be a lot of stress and anxiety, you know, if faced with that decision without knowing what that person would have wanted. So knowing that Stephen, you know, had ticked that box, had wanted to donate his organ and tissues, it just made that decision that little bit easier.
Often we're speaking to families about organ donation on the worst day of their lives. They're losing someone that they love dearly, someone that's really precious to them. And when they know that this person would have wanted to be an organ donor, it just makes it so much easier for them to have a conversation about donation, support donation.
Stephen was able to donate his heart, his liver, and also his corneas. So we ended up actually writing letters to the recipients of his organs as well, which was, hugely emotional for me, but I knew that I wanted to do that to kind of tell them about Stephen and kind of who he was as well. And I ended up receiving a letter back from the heart recipient, which, you know, I mean, it was heartbreaking, but yeah, it also, I guess, allowed me to understand the hugeness of what Stephen had done for this person as well.
We know that Australians are very generous when it comes to organ and tissue donation. So in surveys, 80% of Australians say that they would support organ donation and would be willing to be donors. The problem is that there is a gap between this intention and then the action of registering and speaking to your loved ones. It's really important that people take that minute to register, because that minute could mean a lifetime for someone else.
Knowing that Stephen's heart is still out there, it's like there's something that I can't quite wrap my head around it, despite Stephen losing his life, you know, and that was something that, you know, we had no control over, and, you know, we couldn't change and couldn't do anything about it. I think to have something good result out of that, it's huge.